Hey, Rich,
Hey, Michael.
and welcome everybody to BitPunch Radio episode 039. Rich, how you been? Are things
Cold.
going? Yeah, I
Very
am.
cold.
I am next to a window, and it is single digits here. So, yes, it is cold. I actually have a jacket within reach in case I get too cold.
Oh boy.
I'm wearing house shoes, long sleeves. I got sweats on.
Man, full
Got
Mr.
this.
Rogers today.
I know. Yeah, I need it, man. I'm always cold. I'm one of those that just if I'm downstairs, I'm under a blanket. I'm
Mm.
constantly cold. My neighbors, they'll talk about how they'll keep their temperature of their house around like 65 or
Oh,
68. Like they keep it a little colder. My parents do too. They'll keep it around like 65. So when I go over there, no, it's 72 here. It's
yeah.
70, but like my daughter sometimes she'll be like, "Dad, can I turn the heat up a little bit?" I'm like, yes, please do. Like, I'll just blame it on you. Fuck the cold, man. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. It is very cold here. Very snowy at the moment. So it's great.
Oh, snow. No, we're not getting any
Yeah.
snow here.
Yeah. We got about 4 inches of that good old
What?
lake effect snow. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yep. Yep. Where
You,
they
did you
like
get?
show that map of Indiana, like everybody south of, like Kokomo. Like the top quarter of the state, it's just like blizzard, 8 inches of snow, and everybody else
Wow.
is like, nah, man, it's like 40 degrees down here.
How close are you to
Yeah.
Chicago?
About 2.5 hours. I mean, I'm on the far east side of the state.
Right.
So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But we're close enough that we get that lake effect bullshit.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that is a real deal thing.
Mm,
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Indiana, right?
Well, it's just this hellhole part of Indiana. I've
Right.
lived in other parts of Indiana where you don't get that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, where we are,
Yeah.
like close to the valley, it's not too bad down here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall shit
Yeah.
weather lately.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
Well,
It's
what do
been
you
great.
what have you been up to, buddy?
Village. We've been playing Village.
Video
Resident
games.
Evil Vision
But
Village. God. Yeah. Resident Evil. We made 8 into a name game.
I I think that game is growing on me a little bit.
Yeah. This last episode, we are now 4 episodes into our full playthrough of
Mhm.
Resident Evil Village. I'd say we're somewhere around the 5 hour mark now. Playtime into that game. We spoilers. There's a big vampire lady.
Yep.
We battled the big vampire lady. Uh, we went through the castle. That part I wasn't as hot on.
Hmm.
It felt like to me like you're kind of exploring that castle and she's kind of chasing you around and like her daughters are chasing you around and it felt very Jack in the House kind of Resident Evil
Right.
7 vibes, but
But
not
not
as
as
good.
good.
Not
Yes.
as
Yeah.
good.
Right.
Yeah, it was not like there was just something about that house and that in 7 and Jack and just it was just
I think it's
creepy as hell. It just
I
had a
think it's
vibe.
because it's like based what could be real, you know.
Yes.
Like I understand it's like you're talking about zombies and shit which aren't real,
Yeah.
but there's a like that's in Louisiana
Mm-hmm.
and this is in a castle in Europe. It just feels like a
With vampires and
far-fetched
werewolves and
set.
this,
Right.
it just doesn't
Right.
feel like there's no stakes, Like
Right.
in the beginning of 7 there's totally stakes. Like
Especially with some of the stuff that's happening to Ethan, you're just like, this is slapstick comedy at this point, you
right.
know?
Yeah.
Like,
You're cursed.
oh god. That he delivered two in that last episode, man. That's just
Yeah, the
it's like, oh
you're
my
ugly on
gosh.
you're ugly on the inside as you are on the outside or
Right,
whatever he
yeah.
said. Like Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's just why at that
but
point
but
they
now the game
they
is kind of opened up. It's almost like it's kind of given me the whole map. The Duke, he kind of gave me the whole map to go do my
yeah.
thing. I got to get the three MacGuffins to do the thing.
Hmm.
Uh, We went to the next area, which is much more like 7. It's like this creepy little house with
Yep.
these creepy little dolls, and I'm liking, and it's weird now. It's back to
Right.
being weird
Yes.
instead of just being vampire, sexy lady time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's back to being like just really weird, which is I'm here for. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I think okay, spoilers. They take away your guns and your weapons during this time, and I think that was a really smart idea to kind of just tell the player, okay, you don't have to worry about anything coming to get you. If you do, you just need to run, and made it a little more creepy,
Mm-hmm.
made you feel a little more vulnerable. Um,
Which is a
yeah,
180 from where this game's
mm,
been, because it's been very
yeah,
shooty,
yeah,
and
yeah. This is
you're breaking barrels and finding like 25 bullets, where
hmm
in 7 it was like you'd find 2 to 6, seemed like. So
yeah. I mean, we fought like a werewolf, like Viking knight or something. Like
mm-hmm.
they had like a trash can on his head and shit. Like that was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but that took up a lot of bullets. Yeah, this game is much more combat focused when it decides it wants to be than 7 ever was for sure. But no, I'm enjoying it. Still don't like those werewolves; they suck.
Yeah. It's too
But
many bullets.
it's been fun. It's been fun, and now it's starting to get weird, and that's what I'm looking for in this style of game.
It's kind of telling. The part that they marketed hard on was like our least fun part about it yet. you know,
Yeah, yeah,
which
true.
I think if they would have, and I understand there's like an appeal to Benetresk, or however you say her name,
Yeah.
and she markets quite well. Like probably more interesting than the doll maker, which
hmm
I've heard a lot of people talk about, the like a doll maker in the game. I didn't know anything about it. I had no idea what we were walking into, which was cool. Um, and then there's the two other lords. They've already within the game. They've already spoiled who they are. We're just kind of like now on the hunt to try to find them. I'm actually curious because it seemed like it opened up. It almost like gave you the option to choose,
Yep.
or were you gated off? I wonder if you would have tried one of those other ones if you would have actually been gated off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so because the Duke. I think the Duke made like a remark like you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like do what you want to do. So, uh,
I do like the
but yeah,
Duke.
the Duke's pretty good. Yeah, the Duke's pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it's getting weird. That's good. That game's continues to be good. We'll see how it kind of where it takes it from here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and where it goes. Because now we've kind of figured out there's some shit going on. Other than just like running around this castle, we've kind of got an objective now.
Right.
Um, other than just like find Rose. So
Yeah.
uh,
That's still
yeah,
part of the objective, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Real fucked
fucked.
up. Yeah, real fucked up. So that continues to be good. I'm also still playing God of War on PC, the new PC port. We streamed a bit of that on our Sunday grab bag.
mm-hmm.
That continues to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, really enjoying that. It's a very pretty game, very fun combat. Uh, just got to the part of that where that opens up, and I'm now spinning the realms around, and I
Yep.
just went to like a different realm than Midgard. Um, Met the witch, the Lady of the Woods witch. So yeah, that's going some places. Uh, really, really enjoying that. I want to kind of trying to really focus on getting through that before all these games that we're going to talk about later come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm going to try.
You gotta
With
stick with
everything
it.
that's going on. Yeah.
It's under 20 hours. There's you could probably spend 35 hours in that game, but if you just try to like mainline through the story, you're
Yeah.
looking at 15 to 20 hours. But man, like the people that you're buying stuff, or they're upgrading your axe, the comedy, there's more of that in it. But like
Yeah.
it really does break it up. It's a super serious story, and it's very gut wrenching, and the shit that happens is really cool. But there's enough. They did the Marvel balance of like there's enough good humor in there to kind of balance it out, and it's
Right.
good.
Right. Yeah. So that continues to be good. It's really all I've played though. Village and God of War. Have not played much more than that. Uh, really haven't watched any new TV shows. No new movies. I've been pretty busy watching a lot of football. Football is pretty hot right now.
I did watch. I actually. So we live in southern Indiana. There's a lot of Bengals fans around us.
Yep.
I've been playing board games again, which has been really fun. There's a coffee shop here. They opened up like this back dining area. So it's like you can kind of be a little inclusive to your table and feel kind of safe in there, So we've been playing a bunch of board games, which we'll go over later. But I play with some Bengals fans, and they were talking about, because I didn't know, like, the Bengals haven't been in the playoffs in 30
Years.
30
Yeah.
something years. And so I was just like, I really haven't watched football in a while. Like, I didn't watch it all last year, and I haven't really caught a game this year. But then it's like, okay, I want to sit down and watch the Bengals and the Titans. I want to watch this game. How can I do that? So then came, because we don't have an antenna. So then
Wait. Say that again.
Yeah, we don't have an antenna.
A what?
An antenna.
An antenna?
An antenna. Yeah. Whatever. We
Is
don't.
that like one of them squiggly lines over the E that I'm that like?
An Ninya.
Yeah. Good grief.
So
Hilarious.
So then it's like, well, what fucking service do I have to sign up with to watch this? And
You don't have YouTube TV or like any
No.
TV, nothing?
No. We have a bunch of different streaming services, but I was lacking the one, which was Paramount Plus. So I now have Paramount
Really?
Plus.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's how I got to watch the Bengals.
You can watch Yellowstone now.
Is that on Paramount Plus? I was scrolling through there, and I was like, there is nothing on here I want to watch. Nothing appealed to me.
Yeah.
I didn't see Yellowstone. I'm sure I just like overlooked it.
I'm pretty sure it's Paramount. Yeah.
But yeah, no, there was shit on there. Well, at least for me, it seemed like a lot of like just, I don't know. I don't want to like sound insulting, but it was just like, just that trash TV,
Yep.
Like, the 19 spinoffs of CSI. You can find that on Paramount Plus, and if you're into that, great. It's just not for me. So yeah, I sat and watched that entire game. I was streaming some Nobody Saves the World to my phone, and yeah, that was a hell of a football game. So I will try and catch them again this Sunday or Saturday, whenever they play, because it was Saturday, right? Sunday.
Yeah, they played on
when
Saturday.
they start doing Saturday football games.
The playoffs, typically
Oh, okay.
Just for the playoffs, they kind of do that just to not have Sunday be so crazy, and it just helps their numbers. Just gives them another day to
right. Yeah.
Kind of yeah. All the game there's four games last weekend, and all of them were like bananas. Actually, like really like crazy. Like one of them like ended in like the last 13 seconds of the game. Not to turn this into a sports podcast, but they were like all very, very weird. Like very weird things happened in all of them. So that was kind of.
I seen one game. I seen a stat on Twitter where it's like a game scored 19 points in the last like minute of the game or something.
Right. Yeah, it was like totally bananas. Yeah. Yeah. So been watching a lot of that on the weekends. Not much during the week. My work's pretty busy at the moment, so I have been trying to read a little bit more, especially at night, kind of when I would normally watch TV and movies. So I finished Skyward, the first book in the Brandon Sanderson Cytonic series. Yeah, Cytonic. Yeah, so finished that first book. It's called Skyward. Yeah, Skyward. That's a good book.
Yeah.
Not anything like crazy or anything like earth-shattering.
No.
Pretty kind of run-of-the-mill kind of story. Pretty predictable, but good characters, good writing. Kind of an engaging premise. I really like the premise of like the world he's building there. And at the very end of the book, he kind of sets up this like kind of what's going on. Like the whole book, everybody's trying to kind of figure out what's going on. And at the very
Right.
end of the book, he kind of exposes just a little bitty bit of what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, now that's interesting.
Right.
That's actually, I want to know more about that. So I'm looking forward to starting that next book. Um, I decided before I did that, I wanted to read something else, something a little different. So I had seen a recommendation for Shadow of the Gods, which is
Oh, I've seen this cover a lot.
okay, yeah. It seems to be pretty highly recommended by a lot of
Yeah,
people in
it came out
fantasy.
last year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
May
Um,
6th. Yeah. Okay.
it is written by John Gwynne. I've never read anything by John Gwynne.
Either.
Um, it is a Viking-esque kind of fantasy story
Mhm.
written in three different perspectives of three different characters. Um, I'm
I'm tr-
about
I'm trying to stay under 500 pages, and look at that. That slides right in
yep,
496. So,
yep, yep. I think it's just a little over 500. Yeah, at least on my Kindle.
hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm about 100 pages into that, about 8, 9 chapters, I think. Not quite 100 pages. I think I'm on chapter 9. Um, that is pretty good. Each chapter is written in one of the three kind of main characters' kind of voices. Um, and so far it's been really good. It's kind of a page turner. The chapters are pretty short, and it just kind of goes. Like there's not a lot of. I'm sure there's like a writer word for this, but there's not a lot of like explaining things, like of people just standing around explaining premises of things for 20 minutes. It's just like go.
You've inherited the time stone because your great
Right, yeah.
grandfather
Yeah, like all these
fucked this.
like
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's just like here's this character, here's what they're doing right now and go, you know.
Huh.
And then that chapter ends and we go to this other character and then, it kind of introduces the three characters and then you kind of bounce back and forth between them. I'm sure at some point they're all going to come together or start interacting in
Hmm.
some way. Um, but yeah, it's been really good so far. I'm really liking it. Um, it's the first book in a new trilogy that he has called the Bloodsworn trilogy.
Okay.
I don't know when the next book comes out, but I'm hoping to get through this one and kind of see something different, something from somebody I've never read before. I've
Right.
not read like a kind of straight up fantasy book in a while,
Mm.
especially from a new author. So I feel like it's really hard for me to do. Like I have a really hard time
Such a
like getting
commitment, you know?
well, it's just some books are really just like hard to get into. Like I had tried to read The Way of Kings and just
Mm.
never caught on to it. I should probably go back to it. Um, but like some books, it's like I have to get into it. Like I have to get, and sometimes I feel like doing the audio version first like helps me do that.
Mm.
Like I can get into it and kind of get into the story a little bit, get a few chapters in, and then I can go switch to kind of reading it on the Kindle. Sometimes reading it, I feel like I'm missing things. Like I'm missing like inflection and things that are happening in the
Do
audio
you have a hard
version.
time like staying focused?
No, I can read it. It's just I think it, like for me to sit down and read something, I need to be very interested in it and
Oh, right, sure. Yeah.
kind of under like have an understanding of what's going on. Like
But like it was probably really easy for you to get through those Firefly comics because you were already
oh yeah
invested in the world, you knew the
yeah
characters, so you just were probably able to just blow right through those.
yeah, and even like the Skyward, I read probably 95% of the Skyward book. Like that was
Mm.
a really easy read. Like some books that are a little
Sure, yeah.
harder read to kind of
Hmm.
follow everything that's going on. It's like introducing all these new characters, and a lot of times when the characters have really weird names,
Yeah.
like that's hard to keep track
Like a
of.
lot of fantasy books.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I find it hard to get to kind of. I have to just get into the book, and if I don't, I'll just cold turkey just drop that sucker, and
I,
it's
I
just
read I read a lot of fantasy kind of back to back to back, and then I read a book based in New York, and it was just like, ugh, like okay, like
yeah.
I can be grounded in reality for a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty good. I'm looking. My goal is to read at least 20 books this year. Um, I really want to read more. I really when I'm reading, I'm happier. Like I like to
Hmm.
read,
Yeah.
um, but it's hard to do sometimes. So I've kind of committed to trying to between audio and kind of bouncing back and forth between the audio versions and the Kindle versions, trying to get through stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, I have Read On now. So that is the 2.2 of the
right,
Cytonic series.
right.
So,
Because Brandon Sanderson is a crazy person. Yep.
yes. He actually didn't write these. He like he's an author, but I'm pretty sure they were written by someone else, and he probably like stamped his seal of approval on.
Really?
I didn't recognize the person's name that
I think
wrote
it's
him.
Jancy Peterson.
Peterson. Okay, yeah, I recognize Peterson, but I think the second one is maybe written by someone else. I actually
I
don't know.
I think he might have wrote them because I know in like his updates that he does, I've been kind of following him. He just finished at the end of the last year Defiant, and I don't know if that's in the main or if that's a
Yeah,
point one.
author Brandon Sanderson and Jancy Patterson are both authors.
Right, right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because I know
That
he
first one,
just
the first one was great. It was really cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah, they're fun. I'm that's not a trilogy. That's a quadrilogy, I guess. There's going to be 4 main books in that series, and he's writing the next one next year. And we know that because we know what the man is doing until he's 75 fucking years old. So he's got his whole life planned out. I have no idea. You think he does that with like other facets in his life, or does everything else just fall by the wayside? He's like,
Uh,
nope, writing is number one. I don't give a shit what
it
I'm eating for dinner. I
seems
just need to figure this out.
yeah, no, it seems to be that is the case. Yeah,
What's
writing is
Kaladin doing today, or Dalinar?
well, like yeah, he like commits like whatever this next um Cosmere book is. He's
Yeah.
writing that for the next 18 months. Like in the morning, and then at night he's writing in his night session. He's writing Wax and Wayne book.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
did try to.
like last year he focused on Sky on the Cytoverse or Cytonic
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, he focused on that, but he's also he writes a comic called The Dark One. He released a board game, I think, and he's a producer of a video game. The board game is based on the Stormlight Archives. I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
Man is a
Yeah, he was.
machine.
Yeah, he was in the news here recently. He had some kind of
Oh, I seen that.
a panel he was doing, and he was a little salty that that
Elden
Mr.
Ring.
George R. R. Martin,
Yeah.
was tied to Elden Ring. He felt like he should have gotten a shot at that.
Well, he was
Um,
like, "Well, look, I've played all your all's video games, and George R. R. Martin has like he listed off 3 games he's played, and one was like an Atari game, and it's just like
right.
I don't know. It's just weird to be salty in an open forum like that.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, it gets your name out there, I guess. Not like he needs that anymore, but
Right.
I think
Yeah.
George R. R. Martin. Oh, you're getting covered up by a bunch of
Oh no. Oh
Sanderson.
no. Yep, I'm
But I
doing
do
research
think,
over here.
what's a more household name? Is it Brandon Sanderson or is it George R. R. Martin? Definitely going to be Martin.
Yeah,
He's just got
that's
the
probably
TV
true.
presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should I
Yeah.
check out Shadow of the Gods? I like the fact of reading a trilogy in the same amount of pages as The Way of Kings. I like being able to completely finish a story within.
No, the trilogy is not 500 pages. This is the
I
first book
know, but
in
I'm
the
just
trilogy.
saying if he sticks with that, it'll be like
Right.
1,500
Okay.
pages, and The Way of Kings is like 1,300 pages. So
Okay. Okay.
it's too much
Yeah, you
story.
so far, yeah, I think so. It's pretty interesting. It's a little slow
Hmm.
thus far, um but yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's it for me. That's really all that I've been up to, unfortunately.
Well, we can stick with books. I'm reading The Storyteller by Dave Grohl.
Yep, that's on my
I'll be
list.
completely okay. Well, then I won't go into like spoilers, but I have a very like specific music taste, and again, we have talked a lot about how my focus has just been video games growing up. I had no idea he was the drummer for Nirvana. I had no
What?
idea that, and neither did my wife, who is
What?
who is really into music. I mean, she knows so like she could go on a game show about like music theory or music history and stuff, and she didn't know that either.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Wow. Yeah,
yeah,
he's kind of the drummer that made it.
right. So
Like,
then I
well,
was
not
just
the
like,
only one,
right,
but
yeah. So then I was like, I looked at the music video to "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and I was just like, motherfucker, right there he is. I can't believe it.
yep.
You can barely tell it's him because how they shot it. It's just hair in his face, but still. That's a pretty
Yeah,
good book.
that's definitely him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he cut his hair off like right
Yep.
after Kurt Cobain died and they broke up, and then he started Foo Fighters. Cut all his hair off.
Yeah, if you check out the book, I won't go into it, but if you check out the book, he goes into that in pretty good detail.
Yeah.
It's just high level enough. And it's also funny the stories that he decides to retell. That it's like these are the stories that are important to me. He talks about his family a lot, which is nice to see. But then he talks about being fucked up on the road a lot too. So that's a pretty good book. I'm almost done with Saga Book 3, Issue 54. Sorry, Issue 55 came out today. I have not got it yet. There is a comic book store with my name on it. I need to go check out. But I'm not done with Book 3 quite yet. So as soon as I get done with that, I'm gonna I'll get on Comixology or I'll go and grab it. I don't really want physical stuff anymore. I don't know. Like,
I've been leaning maybe the other way.
really?
I don't know. Like,
Just
should I
don't want
buy
shit.
books? Should I buy
Oh,
books that I like? Should I do that?
they look nice, but the problem is like, would you read it again?
No.
Right. So then what are you gonna do with it?
I don't
And
know.
your kids
Move
aren't
it.
gonna give a shit. They're gonna fucking just want your Kindle library 1 point.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about stuff. It's nice to have stuff
I just don't want
sometimes.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
There's a guy on TikTok that I follow that has like an entire room where every wall is a shelf, and he has like every video game
oh my
ever.
god.
And like people will TikTok him like random video games, and then he just goes and like pulls it out. And he's got like every system hooked up to TVs, and then he puts it in there and like plays it. Yeah.
Huh.
I was gonna send that to you. Yeah.
Man, I used to collect a lot of old games. I probably
And
had
he has like every console, like every weird Game Boy Color, like every like 6 GameCubes stacked on top of each other. Like
I
it's
well, he's
crazy.
probably at a point now where he's making money off TikTok, so
Hmm. Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how people
Something
make
else.
money on there, but sure they do.
Nah, ads, you get big enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess. Um we are I'll talk about games last. So I did mention that I've been going back playing board games, which has been fun. I've been playing. My wife and I ran through a like one playthrough, not a full playthrough. We had to stop for dinner, but a Wingspan.
Hmm.
Rich, I think if I could talk you into playing a board game with me, the digital version of Wingspan is fantastic.
This is the bird one.
It's the bird one. I really think we should sit down and stream it, like
Mm.
explaining the game, talking about it. I don't think anything with Wingspan is hidden outside of like one card, which is like an extra goal for you to try to achieve. Besides that, everything
Mm.
else is kind of like open. So it's they call it an engine builder because you have this mat and you're like stacking birds on it, which are giving you like these are essentially just giving you points. It looks complicated a little bit if you like look at the board game and like pull all the stuff out. You're just like, oh, there's a lot here, but really it's like once you kind of go through it, then you're like, okay, I understand like where all the pieces fall.
Mm.
And then I think I covered Champions of Midgard on the last episode. That one's really fun. It's like a Lords of Waterdeep, which is like one of the most popular like worker placement games. Then we played this one on Sunday, which I think he said was a Kickstarter goal called Great Wall, which was pretty fun. Um it was set in China, and it was about like defending the like building up walls and defending up against hordes and stuff. It was different. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. It's been nice to like kind of get out there a little bit. I work from home. I don't really leave at all. Um, so it's like just being able to like go to a coffee shop and play board games with other people that are just quarantined as well. It's been a little nice. Um, we that's really it for board games. So movies we watched last night in Soho, which is an Edgar Wright film.
Mm.
So he's done Baby Driver.
Okay.
He did Scott Pilgrim. He's done like a handful of movies like that. He loves music in his movies. Baby Driver was all about with the earbuds in.
Right.
And then Scott Pilgrim obviously is a big music movie. The Last Night in Soho had it had a lot to do with music as well, but that was one of those which was cool. We don't really do this often, but it's like I don't really know anything about this movie. I just am on Letterbox and I see that it gets logged a lot. So let's
Mm.
check it out. And I was like, "Do you want to watch a movie?" Or sorry, "Do you want to watch a trailer?" And she's like, "No, let's just go into it." And it was pretty good. It was weird.
You guys usually watch trailers before you watch a movie?
Well, see the problem is if you like if you looked at like my letterbox, it's all like blockbuster stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
all like shit that I'm watching, I'm itching to like see the trailer for anyway. Um I don't dabble in indie stuff. My wife does quite a bit. She like spends more time with movies, like I do video games. Like that's where I would more so like to like spend my free time is playing video games. Um and hers would be like just kicking back and doing her thing, but watching like movies or TV or whatever. Like I'm pretty sure she's watching Ozark right now. Um, but no, that was definitely a crazy movie. It's got the girl from Queen's Gambit in it, and I
Okay.
didn't recognize the other main person, but it's a trippy movie. Uh, Set in France, and it's about basically this girl goes to sleep and she lives this other life, and it's just like the back and forth of being in reality versus being in the dream world, and it's all fucked up, and it's about
Oh,
um
it's got Doctor Who in it. Matt Smith.
yes.
Okay.
um and it's got the one of the girls from Game of Thrones. I can't remember her name, but she's the older lady that was like plotting a bunch of shit the whole time. um
Oh,
if you said it, I
yeah,
would probably know it.
yeah. I can't
But yeah,
remember what her
she's in
name
it.
was in Game of Thrones. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Um, we are trying to get through Marvel's Eternals.
The
We
movie.
have, yeah, we have sat down twice. We are about an hour and 20 minutes into it. We have probably about an hour left. I don't know if you've watched a Marvel movie lately. They have about 20 minutes of credits or any Disney movie
Okay.
whatsoever. Um, because they show, excuse me, because they show all the translation stuff.
Right.
And,
Yep.
when we loaded up Encanto, I was like, fuck, man, this Encanto movie's 2 hours long. And when the ending came, I was just like, oh, that was a really short movie. It's because there was like 19 minutes of credits.
Yep.
Like goodness. But yeah, so I'd say we're over halfway done with Eternals. It's fine. It's not.
I how do you get halfway through a movie?
And we've done it twice.
I don't understand how. I've never sat down to watch a movie and not finished the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to watch movies like on my lunch break at the gym. I get on the elliptical for like 30, 40 minutes and then just stop it.
I mean, yeah, maybe that, but like if I'm gonna sit down and like maybe a movie I've seen before, but like a new movie,
Hmm.
like I have to sit down and like watch all of it.
Yeah. No, it's my kids want to watch it. You know, they've kind of kept up with all the Marvel stuff lately. They really liked Hawkeye, and we went and seen Spider-Man in theaters. We didn't go see this. You know, the reviews were kind of middling.
Right.
And no, it's just like, okay, let's sit down for dinner. All right, now you got to do your bedtime routine, and it just we keep running into shit. You know, oh, kids need to take a bath tonight. Well, that cuts into movie time, so we're just slowly chipping away at it, and it's been just an okay movie. Um, it's hard when you're introduced like 9 people, you know, because you don't really like. I don't know. You don't really get attached to them, so when shit happens, you're just like, I don't fucking know you anyway, so whatever.
Right. I mean,
Um,
they're so far down the character hole at this point. Like,
oh yeah,
I just, yeah.
I've never heard of Shang-Chi at all until they
Mm,
were like, we're gonna make a movie about this character. It
yep.
turns out that movie was a good movie, but I mean they're really digging at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
Yep.
pretty sure they're gonna do Squirrel Girl, which is like, you know, Ant-Man. Some people had a hard time swallowing that one. Turns out you stick fucking Paul Rudd in it, then great. But like Squirrel Girl coming out, and you know you got Miss Marvel, which is going to be a TV show this year. I don't know. They're really digging, but and we're watching Full House.
Like old Full House.
Yes,
Hmm.
old Full House.
Hmm.
I did not grow up watching Full House. That was not one of my shows. Now, there's a lot of shows that I watched from that era. Uh, but Full House was not one of them.
Name me shows you watch from that era.
From that era, what was that? Was that late 80s?
The what was that time slot called? The Friday, Thank God It's
Oh, like
Friday,
yeah,
TGIF.
TGIF. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So
Okay.
you got
All right. Here we go.
Step by Step.
Didn't watch it.
Okay. Let's see
Oh, come
here.
on,
What's the other one?
dude.
Urkel.
You got Full House, or I mean, sorry, Family Matters, which that I
Yep.
did watch that. You've got Boy Meets World, which I was not a boy. I did not watch that one.
Really?
Yeah, that surprised my wife too.
Man, yeah, I would have totally pegged you as a Boy Meets World guy.
No, no.
Topanga.
Well, yeah, there's her, but uh, no, I didn't watch that. I actually my wife like so we love having this conversation. We're like, okay, what did you watch and what didn't I watch? And I've turns out I watched a lot more Saved by the Bell, even though I did not like that show at all. It was just on before the school bus. That was just
Yeah,
that
that's a
show, you
key.
know.
That's a key thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so there was so much Saved by the Bell on that I didn't give a shit about, but it was on, and I didn't have cable, so I had like 4 channels.
Growing Pains.
No, I didn't watch that.
Man, that's TGIF. I'm gonna have to find a list here. Let's
Fresh Prince,
see.
Home Improvement, I watched those. I know you're getting into the
Okay.
90s at that point.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Let's see here.
there was like Mad About You, maybe. Maybe that was a different network. Thinking.
That might have been. Um, yeah, the ones that I remember are like Step by Step, Family Matters. Um, what was the one with the little alien guy?
Alf.
The little Alf. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did watch
That
some of
one.
that. I watched Dinosaurs.
Yep.
Um,
Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs pretty good.
it's so
And
fucking weird.
yeah, it's actually funny that you said it came on before the bus because like that's the cartoons I ended up watching. Like when I got home off the bus, like turned on the TV, like what was on? It was Power Rangers and then like
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles
I watched Power Rangers. I
and
watched a lot of Ninja Turtles.
yep,
And then when I
yep.
got to be about 11 or 12, it was Pokemon. Pokemon was on at 3:30. So
Mm.
I would get off
I
the
didn't
bus.
I didn't catch Pokemon at that age. I caught it when my brother was that age, my little brother.
Mm,
So I got to that late,
mm.
but
So
yeah, there's
here's the crazy thing. And I'm not saying like I got into Pokemon before it was popular, but I kind of did because of fucking KFC.
mm,
So my sister worked at KFC when she was like 15 years old, maybe 14 years old. And for some reason, they were like one of the first ones to get these little Beanie Baby
yep.
Pokemon. And she brought me a Dratini. And she was just like, I got this. I don't know why. I don't know what Pokemon is. And I was like, I don't know what Pokemon. So then I didn't have the internet to look shit up, you know, but it was on TV when I got off the bus, just flipping through. I was like, oh, this is Pokemon. And it just so happened to be like one of the first episodes. Like it
Mm,
wasn't the first one where he like leaves Pallet Town, but it was like probably within the first dozen episodes. So
right.
then I started watching it, and then I found out like, oh, there's a video game with this. Okay, I've got a game.
Mm,
I've got a Game Boy. Let me check this shit out. There's cards. Oh shit! I gotta get all this stuff. You know, I mean,
yeah.
it's in their slogan. So yeah, I fell super hard into it. Um, back when they were selling out of all the booster packs everywhere, and they were gouging you for like $9 for a booster pack. Now $9 for a booster pack 20 fucking years ago, that was a shitload of money. I can't
No,
believe
yeah.
I was
Yeah, it's
paying that
bananas.
much. But
So why are you watching Full House now?
so it was one of those things where it's like we wanted to introduce the kids to some old TV. So my daughter watches Friends. Um,
Whoa, that's weird.
it is, we've kind of stopped it, or we'll skip it a lot because it's a lot about fucking. That show is really like
The whole
about,
thing, yeah.
is just a big horny house of sexy people, right?
Yep, yep.
And so we really have to tiptoe around that.
Does your son watch Married with Children?
No, that was another one. Yeah, no,
Oh man, I definitely watched that as a kid.
I did too. I didn't find it funny, but I just
Oh
loved
man, I thought it
watching.
was hilarious.
I just
Yeah.
loved watching my dad laugh his ass off at this
Yes,
stuff,
yes. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've watched a lot of that show.
So
Um,
what's the feeling on Full House?
my kids love it. I do not. I am not into it. And
Really?
I wasn't as a kid either. It's, to me, it's just too corny.
Are they confused about like young Scarlet Witch?
So they do know about that. My wife told them, like technically, like that's Scarlet Witch's, that's
Older
their older
sisters.
sister, and they're
Yeah.
like, what? Like her older
Well,
sister?
it's twins, and they
Yeah, they go
swap in and
back
out of that show.
right.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So they kind of understand that. Ashley showed them Fuller House, like a
Yep,
couple episodes of that Netflix show, and
yep.
yeah, I don't know. It's just a little too corny. Like I'm sure if I was watching it as a kid in the '90s, I probably would have liked it more. But it's just, I don't know. It's definitely shows its age. But my kids love it, man. Like
Yeah.
with all the fucking TV we have, my son, who wakes up and watches the Pokemon cartoon at night, he's like, he'll turn on Full House, and it's just like, okay, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, me and
Um,
my kids, we've been going back and watching like all the old Disney movies.
oh,
So
okay.
like like Mulan and
Mm-hmm.
Pocahontas and like all these m- pretty old movies. And they're digging that quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's always fun to go back and
Yeah, my
see.
wife does a pretty good job of just like sneaking those in every now and then. Um, yeah, and we watched a lot of classic stuff like over winter. Um, like some of the old classic movies. Like I never watched Miracle on 34th Street.
Really?
No, I never watched that growing up.
Holy cow, man,
So yeah, that was the first time. Hey, that's a good fucking movie.
that's a good movie.
Yes,
Yeah,
it really was. Uh
you're just all Santa Claus, Tim Allen.
oh, right. Yeah. Or weirdly into the Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas
Oh no,
movie
no, no,
with
no!
Sinbad.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my daughter can't watch that movie
Why?
cuz she's got a big heart, man. She has sympathy for the dad. Because she's like, I understand he messed up,
Oh,
but all he's trying to do is fix it, and all these people are hurting him, and and like all this bad shit keeps happening. She always gets to the part to where it's the ball pit where they
yep,
throw all the
yep,
balls up in the air, and like whoever gets the lucky number, and it's like that whole chaos. She's just like she can't do
yep.
it.
So I have a funny story about this. So my kids, when I was quarantined in the basement, my wife let the kids watch the new Willy Wonka. Have you ever seen
Yeah.
the old Willy Wonka?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I might have told you this. I don't know. Um, but yeah, she let them watch the new Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp. And when I got out of quarantine, they're like, "Oh, we want to watch Willy Wonka with Dad," and I'm like, "I haven't seen this new one. The old one's a classic. The new one is hot trash.
Mm.
It's really bad." But there's, in the beginning of that movie when Charlie's kind of trying to find the golden ticket and like all the other kids are finding it and like he's running back and forth between like the town and his house and you get to meet all his family. There's like those four people in the bed, like his grandparents and aunt and uncle or whatever. Well, this depiction has Charlie's house like this rundown, shambled ass fucking house that's like fallen over. And my 3-year-old is like, "Dad, why is that boy's house crooked?" Like that's how she saw it. She's like, "Why is that boy's house crooked? Like, what the fuck?" You know?
Yeah.
And my wife is like, "Well, it's because they don't have any money." And I'm just like, I'm like, "That's not because they don't have any money." And I was like, "It's because they're lazy."
Right.
And my 3-year-old just looking at me like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's because they're lazy. They're just laying around in this damn bed, wait until they find this stupid thing,
Yeah.
and then they find the thing, and then they're all jumping around
Gonna
and
save the
dancing and
day.
shit."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Oh
was like a
man.
weird thing that like my 3-year-old, my literally 3-year-old daughter picked up on. Like, what's going on with this crooked house? Like,
The Cricket House.
why is this boy's house crooked?
I want to watch the Cricket House movie.
Yeah, I should, and she'll bring it up all the time, like randomly, like kids do. She's like, well,
Hmm.
why was that boy's house crooked? Like, oh, yeah, yeah, you know,
He's lazy. I'm telling you.
exactly. Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we've
weird. Kids pick
so
up on weird stuff.
so we started watching Full House, and I was like, okay, you should check out Fresh Prince. And they appreciate Fresh Prince, but they definitely are attached more to Full House. Um,
Yeah,
my son cackles every time. Uh, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name, but
Joey.
Jazz. No, I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
switching back to Fresh Prince. When he gets
okay.
thrown out of the house,
Oh,
my
yeah.
son thinks that's the funniest thing. He can be in the other room, and if he hears him yell, he'll just like swirl, like, "Oh my gosh, you
Yep,
gotta rewind that. I gotta see it." So,
yep, yep.
so that's been us lately. As far as video games, I am pretty addicted to Nobody Saves the World. Um, that was our other stream we did on Sunday for the grab bag. That is it's like a Zelda style game that's got some very grindy elements to it. And what I mean by that is you are constantly picking up quests, but very, very quickly completing these quests. And it just has a really good grind to it. You play this character Nobody, whose only attack is just like this very weak push. Um, and you play that character for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, and then you turn into a rat. Then you're crawling through this sewer, and you start looking at these menus, and you're like, okay, I see that I am nobody. I am now a rat, and you just see that it spiders out from there. And you're
Yep.
like, okay, you can be a turtle, you can be a horse, you can be a mermaid, you can be a zombie, an archer, a warrior, a fucking just all kinds of stuff.
You
And they
just
all
can't
have
have eyes.
no, nobody no they're eyeless, right? And it's very unsettling. The art style is really cool. So this is Drinkbox Studios. It's the studio behind the Guacamelee series and Mutant Blobs Attack. I think that's the one that
Yep.
we looked up.
Yep.
This is my first 2022 game. It's on Game Pass. It's $25 on Steam. Watch a trailer, or watch our stream that we did Sunday, but the archive is on YouTube. And I think we did a pretty good job of just kind of painting what that game is. I was about 10 hours into it, so be wary of like minor spoilers. There's not a whole lot in terms of a story there. I'm just watching the numbers go up. It feels good. I've been streaming it to my Backbone controller, and it works really good. I'm really digging the game. It's now that I'm gonna lay in bed, or uh when I get off work, my kids were like enjoying playing Fortnite together, and my wife was just like hanging out doing her own thing. So I was like, I'm gonna like be in the room with you all and just stream this to my phone because of this controller. Now I don't have to like go back to this computer that I've
Yep.
set out, all day for work. That kind of gives me a little bit of time to go be away from it. But yeah, the Nobody Saves the World is really really fun. There's enough um differences to the characters to make them all a little unique from each other. But the cool thing is you start unlocking the ability to kind of mix and match the spells. So I'm a strong man right now, and I can actually attach like his attacks to the horse if I wanted to. So you have like open availability to kind of mix and match the play style there. It's really fun. Um, Playing Yakuza 6. I am on chapter 12 of 13. I should definitely be done with that game before the next podcast. That one is pretty good. It's a more tightly told story. Yakuza 4 and 5 did character sprawl, where they started branching out to other characters outside of Kiryu. This one is you're just playing as Kiryu again. It was the first PlayStation 4 game in the series, and I am really enjoying it. It's pretty. It's weird, just like all those other ones. But I think that I'm happy they made the decision to switch to a new character, switch the play style.
Yeah.
It was definitely time. Um, I still think Yakuza 0 is probably the best in the series, but um, I really like the direction that they're going with Like a Dragon. And I'm excited to see what they do with 8. So, and then they did a huge drop of games this month on Game Pass. I checked out Windjammers. Oh, I checked out Windjammers 2. I've played maybe, I don't know, an hour of that.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool. I'm not really a competitive person when it comes to gaming though, and that's really what that game is. It does have a single player story, but it's like playing old Mortal Kombat, you know? It's just like
Oh,
you're
okay.
just or
Yeah.
no, I would say it's more like Street Fighter because there's a world map that you're going around. And Mortal Kombat you're just moving up the ladder. But at least in Street Fighter, you go to China or USSR or something like that. Um yeah, Windjammers is pretty fun. And hey, if it's on Game Pass and you have Game Pass, then check it out. I think that's it for me. Um yeah, I think that's it. I Over the next couple weeks, actually, I've got the game releases here for the next 2 weeks. I figure we could kind of pick out some of these more interesting ones and talk about it. Um, the one on the top here is Pokemon Legends Arceus, which comes out when this podcast actually officially releases. It's
Yep.
currently sitting at an 86 on Metacritic.
That's kind of surprising to me.
That is very surprising to me. I had no expectations at all with this game. I kind of wrote it off after that first trailer where it looked rough and um I think somebody is like, "Oh, it's an open world game like Breath of the Wild," but actually it's more containerized. It's open areas that you go to, kind of like what I would imagine like Borderlands, like old Borderlands. Um but no, I'm seeing like, hey, they're trying something new, and for the most part, it's working out.
Mm.
Now, the system shows its age because it's on the Switch and it's pretty old hardware, but also that game is not pushing in the graphics fidelity at all. So that comes out on the Switch Friday. I may pick it up. If I do, we'll stream it.
Yeah.
I did see you can complete it in about 25 hours. But I think it would be more so like I might play it a little bit, but I think it would be more for my son, who's a big Pokemon fan. So maybe I'll pick it up for him and see if he'll let me borrow it, and we'll stream it at some point. Check it out. Still have that Elgato in the box, so I need some sort of excuse to finally pull that thing out.
Yeah.
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves comes out on the 28th. Life is Strange Remastered Collection is February 1st. It comes out for everything, including Stadia. You into games like that at all?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. No.
Dying Light 2. I know I've seen some people are already playing that. That comes out for looks about everything on the 4th. Ollie Ollie World is February 8th. Sifu is also February 8th. That is a Game Pass game, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what Unbound Worlds Apart. Crossfire X is that what's that? Oh no, I was thinking Boomerang X. Actually, I don't know what Crossfire X is.
Crossfire X is the competitive it's from a known studio. What is this?
Oh, really?
It's it's the first person shooter from Remedy.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's been out like in Asia.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
it's big in Asia and now it's coming over here. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. I might be, but I felt like I saw that somewhere.
Remedy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that is a Remedy game. I am kind of excited to see what the hell that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it kind of got announced and not that long ago that I first heard about it. So, yeah, releasing February 10th. And I think it's only releasing on Xbox.
Yep. Xbox O and XSX.
So I don't know if there's going to be a PC version, hopefully. But
yeah, I haven't touched my Xbox One in a long time. So which I actually need to get back to because I really want to finish Guardians. But I have not got back to that yet. Not because of the game, it's really just my fault. Edge of Eternity seems like that has maybe already been out. I feel like I've seen this before already, but I could be wrong. Yeah, there it is. It came out June 8th. Oh, that's my birthday. Okay, so that looks like that is coming to consoles. Kingdom Hearts is getting all sorts of releases on the Switch. Looks like they're doing the cloud thing. You done that on your Switch yet? Have you played a cloud version of a game?
Nope.
I haven't either. I'm curious how that works. And then Lost Ark, which I think is kind of a big deal, coming to PC. And then I'm not sure what this Unbound Worlds Apart is, but that is also Xbox. Out there, Oceans of
Uh,
Time.
no, looks like it comes out for PS4 on February 8th, and then, or no, February 9th, and then Xbox 2 days later for some reason.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
see. Well, that's strange.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they paid for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
All right, we
Yeah.
got a couple news stories here. Let's talk about this PlayStation stuff real.
Yeah, so God of War, just came out on PC. It's like we talked about earlier, very good. The last game that the kind of big PlayStation game to come out on PC was Horizon, the original Horizon. Um, that didn't go so hot on PC. It kind of
Yeah, it
had a
was a
lot of
rough start.
problems. But God of War is really good. Digital Foundry actually did a video on the God of War port and basically said it's one of the best ports they've seen. It actually runs better on PC than PS5, which is kind of surprising for Sony to do that.
Right.
Or not to do that intentionally, but that's the case.
Was it Santa Monica that did the port, or did they farm that out?
Yeah, no, I think it was Santa Monica.
Oh, cool.
I shouldn't say that. I actually don't know.
Okay.
But I feel like I heard it was. So the director Cory Barlog of Sony Santa Monica basically said like the internal studios at PlayStation kind of convinced Sony that it was a good idea to like bring these exclusives to PC.
Oh yeah, they
Like
should.
there's a whole other market there. There are probably things they want to do maybe, with how much better the sport is. Yeah, so I kind of put this on here kind of thinking like maybe there'll become a time when that it won't be 3 years in between when the game comes out and
Yeah.
when the PC port comes out. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I mean,
Because I really want to play Forbidden West, but I'm not gonna buy a PS5 for Horizon.
right, and I would totally play Forbidden West. But yeah, with Sony kind of talking about their Game Pass thing, they're just kind of rumors they're making a Game Pass like something like this, like bringing some of their bigger games to
I don't
PC
like.
sooner.
And I guess Game Pass has a tiered system. They've got PC Game Pass, which I think is only like $5 or something.
Yeah.
And then they have Xbox Game Pass, which is $10. And it gives you gold. And then they have Ultimate, which gives you all of the above, but also the ability to stream, which I actually use quite a bit. So I'm curious what their tiered system is. I seen a news article where a bunch of PS3 games made it to some store on the PS5, so it made it seem like maybe they're going to be bringing PS3 games to some sort of service, but which tier that is, I have no idea. I'm curious to see, how they're going to actually like release that. We're supposed to know
So
in a
right
couple
now,
months, right?
I think all that was just leaks. I don't think Sony's actually said anything about it
Oh,
publicly. There was leaks of the system and like the way it was going to work, possibly. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Cory Barlog basically said for like Ragnarok, the new God of War game that's supposed to launch this year, like there's no plans to like bring that to PC day and date.
fuck.
Like hopefully it happens, but they gotta kind of made it sound like they gotta talk Sony into doing it. So yeah, which
Well, Final
we're
Fantasy.
we're idiots because we haven't talked about the biggest thing that happened since our last
Well,
podcast.
right. So yeah, and that crossed my mind. Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, so kind of on this Sony subject, when was it? Late last week, Microsoft announced
Yeah, it's
their
last
intent.
Monday.
Yeah, Microsoft announced their kind of intent to buy Activision Blizzard and then King, the developer behind Candy Crush. So they bought all that or are trying to buy all that for, what was the number?
$68.7 billion.
$68.7 billion.
Yep.
And that kind of turned the gaming media like on its head a little
Yeah.
bit for a couple of days. Everybody got. Um, I saw a lot of negativity
Yeah.
about the deal. I saw a lot of people basically saying there's no way this is going to happen. The government's going to step in. This is now a monopoly.
Oh.
I think from some pretty seasoned journalists, if they want to call themselves journalists, but like very seasoned like gaming media people saying that like the government is going to step in and not let this happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here to myself thinking, do you think that Microsoft, like Microsoft, didn't sit down and think about this with all the
Right.
very smart people, legal people, lawyers, and go, what are the odds? And then they decide to announce it this early. Like, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Like, they're buying their content for their platform, for their console. It's not a
Right.
monopoly. Like
Right.
they released Halo on Steam. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's not great. Like, a lot of people were arguing, well, we don't want everything to be like under one umbrella. Like, we don't want all these things to be under one umbrella, and all the games are Microsoft games, and all this stuff. But all people did before that was complain that they didn't have any games. So they
right.
went out and they bought the games.
I know, and it's
And
like that studio has just been focused on like a couple things.
yeah,
Like
and
they
it's like in if you look at Activision Blizzard, especially Activision Blizzard right now, it's never going to be any cheaper to buy it than it is today.
Right.
Or right now with all the stuff they have going on, every single one of their franchises is at their low.
Mhm.
Overwatch is down, StarCraft is down, World of Warcraft is down, Call of Duty is down,
Yeah.
modern. Uh,
Even though like Call of Duty is still like one of the best selling
yeah,
games,
yeah,
it's
Warzone is still
still
big. Yeah,
it's
but
still not what it was.
yep, and then you have all the kind of corporate stuff going on at Activision Blizzard, so that whole side of it's down. So they're kind of getting a good deal on the whole thing
Right.
because
Yeah.
they're buying it like way cheaper,
Right.
and if you've paid attention to anything financial lately, Apple is just sitting on money. Scrooge McDuck.
Mhm.
Uh, Microsoft is sitting on money. Google is sitting on money. Like, Microsoft paid cash for this deal. Like, cash money, So that's crazy to think about, right? And what's funny is, and then what made the monopoly stuff kind of silly in my eyes is after, if Microsoft completes this acquisition and they absorb Activision Blizzard, they're still third behind Sony and behind Tencent.
Wow.
So, like, the whole monopoly thing and the whole government thing was really odd for people to kind
Mhm.
of jump on. And then you have all the people like, well, they're just buying all their stuff, they're not developing it internally like Sony is with Horizon and God of War. And it's like, yeah, because some Sony guys at Santa Monica just like, all right, guys, we're gonna do this.
Right.
We're making it on our own. I mean, like, it's a fucking business.
Right.
Like, like
And they have
like that,
Sony backing.
like Kaz Hirai or whoever is running Sony at this point is just over
Right.
there like piecing together God of War. Like, he's over
Oh,
there animating it and shit. It's like, no, man, they bought Sony Santa Monica or
they're
created
fucking
Sony Santa
huge
Monica
too.
and then hired a bunch of people.
It's
And
Sony.
right,
Like
yeah, yeah,
they're fucking
yeah,
massive. And yeah, just like you said, they're still Microsoft buying this, they're still behind them.
right,
So
yeah,
it's like PS5s are selling like fucking hotcakes.
right.
They're
And right
doing
now, like
fine.
like before the acquisition, Microsoft's behind Nintendo and Sony. So it's that whole thing's just kind of silly. But I've always found it really odd that all everybody does is complain about Xbox and their lack of exclusives and their first party games, and then they go and they start doing it, and then people are mad
Mhm.
because they didn't like build them from the ground up
I
and
know
like
they need
go out
they need
there to
studios to do it.
the technical college and recruit all these kids and build them up like some kind of little Lego set. I don't think people have this like fantasized version of like how that works.
The
Whereas
weird
really
thing
what it
is,
is Sony's like, hey, talented people, here's money, go do whatever you want. Like that's what they're doing with Naughty
right?
Dog. Naughty Dog is the flagship. They go to Sony and they go, hey, I want to do this.
Hmm.
We want to do this thing. And they're like, okay, here's almost unlimited amounts of money. Just go do it.
Right.
And that's what, um, man, Metal Gear guy, what's his name?
Kojima.
Kojima. That's what Kojima did for years with Konami. I mean, he just says, just give me all the money and let me make the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what he got to do. And Sony did that again with Death Stranding. Or was that Sony that gave him?
Yep.
Yeah, they did it with Death Stranding.
And guess what?
Like,
Death Stranding's on PC.
right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't get that whole argument for like that the Sony fanboys like to pitch that
they're not gonna do a like a day and date sort of service. They're not going to release Forbidden West is not going to be day one on a service that you can pay $15 a month for. They're not going to do that.
Right.
But if they did some sort of service like that, where it was like maybe it's the EA thing, where it's like after 180 days or something, you then have access to this. $15 a month, you get all of our old shit. And then, if a game comes out in April, you can have it in November. Would you get a service like that? Say it was ultimate price. Is there enough Sony backlog items
No.
for you to get excited about?
No.
Because
Not
the
me.
third party shit I don't care about. Like Microsoft already has it. I'm almost at a point to where I don't even want to buy video games anymore because at some point it'll show up on Game Pass. Like most Hades is on there. I mean, most like
That store.
big party, third party, I mean, games end up on that service at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be clamoring at this point. Like they want to be on this service. Otherwise, there wouldn't be 300 and something games on there now.
Yep.
And
25 million people subscribe to it.
And I know that, you see stuff cycle on and off, and that's fine.
Yeah,
but by the time
needs to happen. Otherwise, it
right.
just becomes the App Store, and the only
right.
thing it ever sells is Flappy Bird.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, by the point it cycles off, the game's fucking cheap.
Yeah, and you get a discount.
And you get a 20% discount.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna live on there for a year. And by that point, a $60 game, as long as you're not Nintendo, will be 20, 25, $30 at the top. And then you're going to get 20% off that. So it's like you had it for a year and now you can get it for $25. Like it's just a fucking really good deal. Yeah. I was trying to think like, okay, would I be excited for a Sony service like that? And I don't think so. I actually I had a PS4 for a while and I played a lot of their exclusives. I really want to play Ratchet. I absolutely adored that series. And I really want to play the new one. Even though it does nothing new, it's just really pretty and I want to play it. But if I could play it on PC, I would much rather do that.
Yeah, no, if they release their stuff on PC, like I would buy it. I would pay full price for it.
Yeah, I would buy the new God of War, Horizon. I want to play Final Fantasy VII, but I kind of want to wait until the whole thing comes out. But yeah, I just don't want to buy a PlayStation 5. I don't even want to buy a Series X. Like, I've got my machine that I want to play games on. I can stream it throughout my house if I want to, and I
Yeah,
would
I
just
mean,
rather do that.
at this point it is a different. Microsoft has fully committed to this Netflix for games
Mm-hmm.
Game Pass thing. Like they don't care how many Xboxes they sell at this point. They just don't care. They just want you to get Game Pass and play those games wherever the hell you want to play them. You know, I mean, it's and Sony doesn't want to do the Game Pass thing. Obviously, they would have done it already if they could have. They want you to buy a PS5. They want you to pay $70 for these new games. You know, it's just a different marketing deal. It's a different business. They're in a different business now.
Right.
And they're not both clamoring to try to sell consoles. They're not even. It's almost like they're not even in the same like they're not even in the same court at this point,
No.
like the same field at this point. You know, you know, Microsoft is putting all their first party games on Game Pass. Like Starfield will be on Game Pass, Halo is on Game Pass, and it's on Steam. You know,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
and it's here, and you can stream it from XCloud, and you can do all these different things, and we have crossplay between
And
everything.
hey,
You know,
they
Sony
want
was
to be on PlayStation.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Phil Spencer has said, like, I want Game Pass on the Switch. I want Game Pass on Sony. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. And they're just like, well, no, we don't.
Dude,
They're
if they have 25 million subscribers, that's 375 mil a month
yeah,
that they're making. That is that is wild. Now I know not everyone is subscribed to the Ultimate.
right,
So even cutting that in half, that's still a fuck ton of money that they're
right,
making off this service. Now they're,
right.
I hope that third parties do well on there.
I think they do, or they wouldn't be there.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. So
yeah. It's pretty wild. I mean, there's been some more stories since that announcement that the next 3 Call of Duty games have kind of been guaranteed to come out on PlayStation, because that was the initial thought, is are they gonna Bethesda this and basically say no, these games
mm,
aren't going to come out here anymore.
right.
Um, but there's kind of been some rumors and some talk here in the last couple of days that the next few Call of Duty games are going to make it to PlayStation. They're going to honor certain deals that have already been in place, um, and then after that is kind of hazy, and that's going to
Right.
make
So what else?
people angry.
I mean, like Blizzard stuff doesn't show up on. Well, I guess like Diablo 3 did. Diablo 3 was
Overwatch.
on. Okay, yeah, okay, and I'm sure they still make good money off Overwatch. Um, yeah, but like, what else? What else is on a PlayStation console? Is it really the concern was just mostly about Call of Duty?
I mean, I would think so. That's the big time deal. Yeah, yeah. And that would be a big deal if they pulled it, you know. But
Sure,
who knows what they end up doing with that, in 3 or 4 years, that might change. But there were stories even before this happened. For years, there's been stories about Sony trying to lock up Call of Duty exclusivity, like for not in perpetuity, but like for months at a time.
when did they buy ZeniMax?
A year ago,
You think Todd
yeah.
Howard was just like they paid how much? You know,
Eh, yeah, maybe.
I mean, I know Activision Blizzard's a little bigger than Bethesda, but still,
Well, yeah, you're getting a lot of teams. They get all those teams, Raven,
right?
Infinity Ward, like all those teams. Like
Boys for
that's a
Bob.
lot of studios, a lot of talent. Um, yeah, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot. That's weird.
Yeah,
Or will own Crash Bandicoot.
yeah,
That's odd.
because it'll
Yeah.
go through.
Uh, yeah.
I seen that they want to kick off Guitar Hero again. I would fucking buy Guitar Hero.
That's the thing. Like that's what people have been saying. Like they have all these different IPs that are like way down. Like if they can come in and like make a new Guitar Hero, and Phil Spencer actually referenced Guitar Hero. He's like, that's fucking exciting. Like we could do that. We could.
Yes.
Overwatch 2 has been like in development hell. Like that game's got all these issues around it. Like if they somehow reboot that in a way, World of Warcraft, you know, like
Is that
what
going
could
to be
happen
on
if
Game
they
Pass? Are we
uh,
going to try to play World of Warcraft when it hits Game Pass?
I, I don't know. Then you have Diablo, you have StarCraft, there's there's all these
Yeah, well,
IPs
Diablo
and
4, I bet.
teams.
Is fucking Diablo 2 going to be on Game Pass? Am I going to regret buying that game and playing it for 5 hours?
Right. Yeah.
Probably, right?
Or yeah. Yeah. I mean, but then you have all this talent. You have all these teams and talent that are pretty disgruntled at the moment. And if Microsoft comes in and goes, "Hey, what do you guys want to do? Like, do you want to make something new?" There was a story. Blizzard just put out a story. They're making some new like survival type game. That they just announced. So, there's some opportunities there. Microsoft bought low. They can buy low and kind of bring it back.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's pretty wild.
They're a $2 trillion company, right? I think I've seen that.
Yes, yes.
Was it
Microsoft
them?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, the
And so that's what people are worried about is like what happens next. Like what's the next chip to fall? Like who buys EA or who
mm,
buys Ubisoft? You
who
know,
wants EA? You know,
I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think it's Microsoft or Sony you got to worry about there. I think it's Meta or
Tencent
Google
or something like that.
or one of the Apple. I mean, they're just sitting on money. I mean, they could just do it.
You know, I know I've brought this up on shows in the past, but I've seen a lot of ads for Luna lately.
Yeah.
And so maybe like they do a push where they're like,
hmm
let's fucking buy a studio
Netflix
and
has
take this
been
shit.
dabbling in games. What if they just go and buy
Mhm.
fucking Ubisoft or something stupid? I mean,
Yeah, I could see Google swooping in since they've already got that deal with Stadia.
yeah, and Ubisoft, like they make deals with everybody. Like they
Sure.
they
EA is
they're
on
all
Game
like
Pass.
fucking
So,
Mario and Rabbids and like
right.
Assassin's Creed games are on everything. It's like the Skyrim.
Are
I
they like
mean,
one of the only studios that Nintendo allows to like fuck with the Mario brand? I'm pretty sure.
yeah, but kind of, yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
big news. It'll be interesting to see what happens from there. Yeah,
yeah. I don't like because that happened like 3 days after our last episode. Like I didn't put it on there, but that's the only bummer about doing like a bi-weekly show. Like
yeah,
sometimes we'll want to discuss something, but it's like, is it old news at this point, or is it still pretty exciting? Which this one is.
yeah,
I think this will be exciting, and probably this whole fucking year. Just like anytime Blizzard makes a move or makes some sort of announcement, or at some point we're gonna hear what is the next Call of Duty. Like, are they
right. Like,
running this
what is
shit by?
Sony gonna do? Like, what is their response
Right?
going to
Yeah.
be? Like, are they just gonna dig in their heels and go, "Nope, we're selling you consoles and $70 games, and everybody can fuck off"?
And
Like,
it's working out for them.
well, yeah,
They
no, it
honestly might
totally
not have to
is.
do anything. They
Yeah,
might
I mean,
not give
yeah,
a
they don't.
shit about losing Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah. I did see that they lost like 20 billion in market cap the day
Ooh,
that was announced because
oops.
stock markets, but that'll come back.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be interesting to see how if they respond at all, what
Mhm.
they do. Like, I don't know. It's because there's still been some rumors like that Microsoft might buy like From Software or
Oh
like
wow.
Kojima. Like if they bought From Software, I mean,
Hmm.
people might like
Really be upset with that one.
go real Nirvana on that.
Yeah.
Like the people would be very mad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very mad about that. But that would be a good play,
It
you
would
know,
be.
because I don't know, craziness, craziness.
Oh boy. All right, this last story here, I'm pretty sure you threw this on for me.
Yep.
This Yakuza director who left, what, that was several months ago, where he departed ways. Seemed like in good terms. He was just probably like looking for something new. He's founded a new company, Nagoshi Studio, which is the guy's name, and it's being completely funded by this company called NetEase, which I don't think I
They're
know.
very, very big in China.
Okay.
Very big.
Oh, they got some VR stuff coming. Oh, and a
Yeah,
MOBA,
very big.
extraordinary ones. Um, so yeah, I kind of skimmed through this, and the thing that stuck out to me was they're looking to make something bigger, and that already turns me off.
Mm.
I have now got to a point in my life as a dad and a man with a 40-hour, 50-hour a week job. Um, if a game is going to take a long time to beat, I'm probably not going to want to play it.
So you're out on Starfield.
Starfield, I'm going to probably make an exception for. Avowed, I will probably make an exception for. Baldur's Gate 3, I know I'm being a
Yeah.
hypocrite right now.
No kidding.
But
we just discussed about 5,000 hours worth of video games.
you're right.
Those 3 video games, more than likely. Yeah.
But you playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, I loved that game, but that game took me like 60 fucking hours. It was great. But they're like, we want to make something bigger, and it's just like, no. Like, I'm loving Yakuza 6's like really small, tight-knit story it's telling. I appreciate that. I like completing stuff. That's why I'm like trying to read smaller books and moving away from the Sanderson, these epic sagas. Like, I like being able to say I'm done with this and I can move on to something else and experience, new things. So when they're like, yeah, we want to make something bigger, it's just like, you're already making these fucking massive, like, crazy stories. But keep an open mind, see what they come up with. I love the Ryu Ga Gotoku, however you say that, the company that makes the Yakuza games. So, I hope that series continues to thrive without him, and I hope whatever he's working on ends up being fun. They're all pretty unique. So, man, what is E3 going to be like this year, Rich?
It's just going to be one show and then Sony and Nintendo because Microsoft owns all the other shows. It used to be an Activision show and a Bethesda show, and now there's just going to be one.
Like,
big show.
what's the key? Like, what's Keeley? What's his game going to be this year?
I don't know, man. He's just
going hard,
he's doing whatever. He's just going to shit all over E3.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it doesn't matter what E3 is. It's just whatever the companies decide to do.
Yep, that's true.
Like, how many
they don't really need it.
Things is Nintendo gonna do?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. But show me some Starfield. Show me some Breath of the Wild 2. Show me some Ragnarok. That's E3.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. That's a lot. A lot has happened and continues to happen. The Steam Deck launches in February.
Seen that.
Yeah.
I've got my fake one right here,
and
it plays my Steam games, so I'm okay with that. Not real well though. It doesn't run that great, but
Gabe Newell is gonna sneak in your room and knife that thing.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, with his millions of daggers. Crazy. All right, thank you all so much for watching, for listening. We do this every other week. We stream on Wednesdays, and then we release this on Fridays. So you can check out our archived podcast at bitpunch.tech. If you ever want to send us an email, you can emails at bitpunch.tech. You can follow us on Twitch. We stream a handful of nights a week. We do the podcast every other week. We normally do a Grab Bag Sunday, and then we normally will do a couple random streams throughout the week. You can find that on Twitch at BitPunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BitPunch. You can check out most of our archive streams on our YouTube at /user/BitPunch. And you can Check out our monthly newsletter that comes out at the end of the month at bitpunch.substack.com. You can find all of these links on our website at bitpunch.tech. Oh no, I clicked the wrong thing.
Oh no, buttons.
I dragged it on accident. You drag that back up. Oh no,
Oh, you
hit it
did it
again. Alrighty, well that's it for us tonight. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Have a good night. We will be back. Bye.
Bye.